Welcome back to Common Ground. We're so glad that you're joining us here. My name's Mike, and I'm joined once again by Melissa, John, Ethan, Jay, and we're talking about sort of the deeper issues culturally that we're experiencing with racism and diversity and things that aren't like super easy to talk about, but things that are so valuable for us to be discussing. So this next question, I guess, that we're sort of getting into is, I think leadership for us, all of us are worship leaders and lead, people on our teams and are ultimately, leaders in our areas of influence, obviously. Part of that is holding people accountable, helping people follow through and do what they say that they're going to do or what they should do, So would love to throw that question to you guys. How, as worship leaders, as Christians, as the church, do we hold people accountable?
Yeah, so through this time, and I talked a little bit about the secret place in a couple of the videos back, of just this need for me to get alone with the Lord. So it has now also totally opened my eyes to see, okay, well, if I can meet with the Lord alone, why do I need to gather, right? Why do I need to gather with people?
Yeah.
And so why do we gather in a building? We've been in this season of quarantine where we've had to have church in our living rooms, on our screens. Why do we need to meet? And I think that question has continued to arise and arise. And so, my church is still in a place where we're not actually meeting.
Yeah.
So we're not actually, but doesn't mean that we can't be connecting.
Yeah.
We need connection.
Yeah.
And so God's kind of set up two places, the secret place and the meeting place. Mm-hmm. And so these two places that I feel like that God has revealed that I'm designed for.
Yeah.
Alone time with Him, and then I'm designed for this meeting place. And it's not with just anyone, it's with secret place people.
Yeah.
There's such a difference when I sit down and have a conversation with someone who has not been spending time with the Lord versus someone who has been engaged and is connected with the Father, because they're literally, I can trust what they have to say. Mm-hmm. And so in that space for me this year, I have 4 guys that has been one of the most amazing things. I've known these guys for 9 years.
Yeah.
But I haven't known them. Wow. And so we're all on staff together, and we have got together now every Wednesday from 4 to 6. We get together, and we say we're taking our staff hats off, right? Yeah. So we're not seeing each other right now as we're on staff. Yeah. We're not working. It's you're my brother, I'm your brother. And we enter into this time where I am meeting with secret place people, and I am hearing the real, open, honest, this is what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
And that group is very diverse too, which has been very special during this season. And to hear the actual pain and struggle, the honesty. And so when we ask the question, how can I hold someone accountable? I think we have to first become honest with the people around us, of this is actually what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm actually going through.
Yeah.
This is what I'm struggling with. And then the question is, okay, what should you do? What is God calling you to do to move through this situation? Or how can I hold you accountable to what God is telling you to walk through? And so I'm saying that as soon as I voice what I'm struggling with to these guys, instantly I'm held accountable, because they know the truth of what I'm dealing with or what I'm struggling with. And so I think what we have seen in this time is a group of people that are attending church that aren't actually being real and honest with each other.
Yeah.
And so we kind of put some verbiage for our church during this season. The secret place is being me before God, and God being God before me. Mm-hmm. That's this kind of verbiage that we put. Then the meeting place, we put this verbiage is it's me being me before you, and you being you before me. It's this is who I am, this is what I'm struggling with, and as soon as I put that in the light with you, you're okay, I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
Like, this is what God's telling you. This is what God's calling you to do. So in the scheme of, this diverse group of people feeling what you were talking earlier about, this, like, this is my calling, this is what God's calling me to do. This is what I'm really facing right now. This is what I'm struggling. I'm face to face with this issue in my heart, in my life.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, we can do this.
Right. Right.
I'm with you.
Right.
Like, we're going to journey through this process together.
Yeah.
And I think accountability is like kind of got a weird word to it. Where
It's very churchy almost. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where really it's the beauty of honesty with secret place people.
Yeah.
We then begin to walk through life together.
Yeah.
And you're texting, you're calling. It's like, how are you? How's it going?
Right.
Like I'm checking in on you. Like, you told me this. This is what you want to do, or this is what you're dealing with. And it's just such an incredible. It's the church.
Yeah.
Like, we're designed for communion, community, and I think the enemy in this time has wanted to divide that, but it has forced us to ask the question: what is church?
Yeah. 100%, dude.
What is the purpose of this? And it's for, I believe, pointing you, hey, are you spending time in the secret place? Because that's where Jesus deals with you. And then the meeting place, hey, what's really going on?
Sure.
Like, be honest. Like, I just came from, like, I love you, know? So when you come to those two different places, then I just see God, like, so excited over that.
Sure.
Like, he's designed us to be in community, but I can't hold you accountable if I really don't know what's going on in your life.
Right.
And that's what I've seen. We live in this social media era where we think we know how people are doing.
Yeah.
They're posting, they look like their lives are amazing, but they're all depressed and anxious and struggling. Yeah. And we have no clue what our brothers and sisters are actually dealing with. Yeah. And so I think that's like the beauty. You keep talking about the meals. Like, I think, we need to have honest conversations like we're doing that aren't just like, I'm doing great. It's the social media conversation of showing our best. And then through that, how do we, that honesty, as soon as we're honest, now you're accountable.
Right.
And nobody wants to be honest because as soon as it's in the light, I'm held accountable to
I have to, 100%.
That's interesting to think about that idea of a meeting place. Because of that secret place, you are open. There's nothing you can hide from God. He's all seeing. He knows what's going on. But when we come to the meeting place, it's like, I don't really know you like that. But you just said something that I think is essential, especially for our communities to hear, is the time that you have with the individuals that you're in that meeting place with. It has to be the right people that you're getting open and honest with. And that's something where in my personal life, I've thrived because I understand loyalty and I understand connection. I can meet someone and not know them, but I want to get to know you. Sure. So every time I see you, I treat it like this is my first time getting to connect. I know your name, Mike, but I don't know you yet. I want to spend more time with you. I want to get to know, man, what makes you tick? What's in your heart? And I think with racism, because that's what we're addressing today, how to keep people accountable in that place of meeting. Well, that place has to be a relational place. It has to be a place that has been tried by time. It's got to be tried by having coffee and having a meal. And you got to have people who know what it is to be open and honest with God in a secret place and know that there's something inside. But who are those people and how do you find those people? I think we have to redefine what we believe to be relationship because you can't just go to a random person you met at work or someone you've seen at your youth ministry or your youth group or in your seniors ministry. You've got to find some people who, when you read what's in your mail, they're not seeking to heal you. God can do that in your secret place. I need someone that hears me and knows what I'm going through.
Totally, man.
And is really willing to just be there. Just be there for me. I know that God will supply all my needs. I know that he knows me inside and out. But did you hear what I said? Or are you too busy trying to apply the God healing ointment to this moment? You know what I mean? I have that in my secret place. And so with the racism thing, I've been telling my friends that aren't black, I've been telling them because they're the ones who I love. I love everyone that I'm connected to and that I get to come in contact with. But those that are not Black or that are not feeling this sense of oppression that's kind of confused and dazed, they seem to be struggling with this idea of how to keep other people in their circles accountable when certain jokes are said or when things are taken out of context. And in that meeting place, that same idea of the meeting place, it's like, if this is really family, if this is really relational, then I need you to understand when you bring correction to that or when you make known that you're not comfortable, you're gonna be rejected.
Yeah.
Jesus had that.
Right.
You know, and you have to be okay being persecuted for speaking truth. Well, I don't know how to do that. Well, that's somewhere you take that to the secret place and allow the Lord to deal with whatever that is inside of you that makes you uncomfortable with that confrontation, because that honestly is what it is. It can sound like such a negative thing, but when you have people that you trust, when you have people who say that they love you, that love is going to keep you together. And ultimately, they're going to have to come head to head. I just wanted to mention, because you said 9 years, and I'm like, man, that's unheard of.
These are like my closest friends that I've done so much life with, but yet I really didn't know. And that was what shook me, is I have been on tour with these guys. When you're in a van as you got for a month, you get to, you think you know someone.
You definitely know how they smell.
And so just that realization this year where I heard some of their stories for the first time, and I'm just like, I didn't know you. And so now when you come with what you're struggling with, I know your story. And someone told me this once. He said, the person with the problem is the closest one to solving the problem. So it was like a very, this therapy type of teaching. But I love that because honestly, I know what I need to do with what I struggle with. I just need to be able to voice that to someone. And it's the truth of bringing things to the light where Jesus then begins to work. And so I just think it's this whole concept of creating I trust. Like, it takes time to build that. It's taken 9 years for me to have this group, you know, of doing life, going through college, traveling together, seeing them have babies. And now we're in this place of like, I'm hearing that in high school, this happened. I had no, in college when we knew each other, this was going on, And so, now we can come to the table when their heart breaks over an issue such as racism and what's going on, and I know their story. I'm not there to say, get it together. I'm just there to say, is there anything else? Like, I want to hear, like, keep speaking, like, and really just shut up. We talk so much when people, we come, like you're saying, with the answer, rather than just coming and listening and just loving. And then in that place, as soon as it's brought to the light, now it's like, okay, God can do something with this.
Well, it's like there can't be accountability, true accountability, without vulnerability. And all of those things take so much time. And we live in a culture that doesn't honor time. And not that like, I'm gonna honor your time or whatever, but like, it doesn't honor how long certain things take. I mean, Jesus walked places for a reason, like he spent time with his people. I mean, I hate walking. Like I do. Like in college, I had a long, in college, I had a longboard to ride everywhere, or I was in my car, I was on my bike. Even now, like if I go on a walk with my family, I'm either like on my bike or still on my longboard. My son like understands speed. I mean, because he's all over the place, Like we love just the speed and quick and fast and all that kind of stuff. And like, I get the sense so many times that that's not the way that our God works. And he can work fast, like obviously. But like this life of a Christian, the life of a believer, life in a community takes so long to form those things, especially that vulnerability, to be there, to hear people at their weakest and at their darkest. And, you know, I don't feel like our culture truly honors that. We love just the instant friendship. We love, you know, the likes and the comments and the followers and all that kind of stuff, but we don't value how long that truly needs to take. And just obviously, you're talking about meals. You know, meals, like, I feel like some of the best conversations happen over meals is because, like, you have to be there. You know, and like, it takes a certain amount of time to eat food with each other because, like, unless you're Joey Chestnut or something, or Kobayashi, and you just like shoving hot dogs in over. But you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it takes time, and like, that's the vehicle that those conversations happen in. And so I don't know, you know, you guys have anything else?
It's the beam me up, Scotty mentality.
Yeah.
Versus,
oh my gosh,
let's take a journey. I'm willing to be on this journey with you.
Yeah.
I'm willing to walk out this process with you. I think, you know, like everyone is saying, I hear you all saying, let's have relationships again. Let's be relational again.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to harp on social media a lot, but like,
yeah,
you know, it's changed a lot in a lot of great ways. I think it's affected and changed in a good way our ability to reach. But one thing social media will never take the place of, it has increased our reach, but it has not increased our touch. There's something that happens when you're able to reach out and touch someone.
Yeah.
When you're able to shake their hand, which right now is frowned upon.
Yeah.
But there's something that happens in personal touch. And I think we have to be careful not to lose that.
Yeah.
To be a cyber generation. Like, love, genuine love, authentic love at its finest is not necessarily going to be experienced in a cyber realm.
in a virtual world.
It's not a virtual, this is not a virtual love.
Yeah.
This has to be a genuine, personal, heartfelt love.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jesus, the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whosoever believed in him would not perish but have everlasting life. Like, love moves us to be giving of our time, to be giving of ourselves, to be giving of our lives. Like, it moves us to lay down things, our agenda, our will, our motives, all those things, our preconceived ideas, like everything. None of that matters. Like, when you go back to bowing.
Yeah.
Like, love is deep. It's a lot deeper than we make it, but it's not, like, cyber world is not going to take the place of me doing like this.
Right.
Like, he knows I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows that now. I'm a hugger. I hug strangers, and I go, man, you know, and some people are rocked by it. Like, what? You don't know me. No, but I love you.
Yeah.
I love you. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you smell like.
Yeah.
Like, I love you. I make it a point to learn the waitress and waiter's names. I want to say their name. I tell them they're awesome. There's something about hearing my voice and hearing the tone say, you know what, you're awesome.
Yeah.
And I say it at least 6 times before really anyone who goes to eat with me can tell you that. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Like, let's be personal again. Yeah. Let's be relational again.
Yeah.
Social media is not the end all be all. Like, it's a powerful tool.
Sure.
But there's so much that happens there, and we're fighting. And if we got in the same room, it's like, say it to my face.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that change.
And they
like,
wouldn't.
they wouldn't. Come at me, bro. No, I'm just kidding. But like so much changes when you see me.
Yeah.
I invited my neighbors over, and I'm ashamed to say this. Our neighbors had lived next to us for nearly 3 years and had never been in our house, right? And, you know, and so we found out they were moving, and I had actually said several times throughout the year, come over, come over, come over. And we could just never set it up. I was always out of town. And so quarantine, nobody's out of town.
Right.
I made some brownies from scratch because I became a baker like everybody else during quarantine.
Nice.
And I went over to the fence, and I felt like Tim the Toolman Taylor. I could see his eyes, and I said, hey, bro, I made some brownies. You want some? You know, he could have said, like, bro, no, COVID-19. No, but I took them some brownies. They their daughter ate them, and it was amazing. But then we had them over for dinner, and we just had the most amazing conversation. They got to know who we were, and there were so many walls, I think, that maybe we didn't talk about that were broken down.
Yeah.
And they saw, like, we're just normal people.
Right.
Like, we're just like you. So I think personal touch, like, be relational.
Yeah.
And you'll see, again, like I said earlier, that we actually have more in common than you realize.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and it feels like, we use, even just this question almost feels aggressive. Like, how are you going to keep people accountable, or how can we keep people accountable? And it's like, kind of like what you're saying is, when you get to know somebody, there's so many things that, like, you don't need to talk about, like, and not because we're trying to hide things from people, but like, you immediately understand that, like, just like you were saying a little bit ago, like 99.99% were the same. And so, like, for me to hold you accountable, like, as soon as we understand that, like, we're both broken people, like, I don't need to hold you accountable necessarily so much as I need to, like, reinstate that relational thing, invite you over for dinner, and, like, it will immediately, like, the grace of God in the midst of that conversation and everything seems to cover the multitude of sins, and now granted, like, there are certain moments where, like, yeah, we need to have harder conversations with people, but, like, it's very hard to make any actionable change without relational credibility. And so, like, like, we have to do the hard work of building a community, or building, your people group around you to even dive into those conversations, because you're putting the cart before the horse at that point.
Exactly. Relationship gives you the ability to hold someone accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I can't hold you accountable if I don't know you.
Yep.
You'd be like, what? You don't even know me. But I have friends that have said things publicly on social media, and because I have a relationship with them personally, I didn't go on their Facebook and comment what I thought about it and be like, bro, come on, that's the wrong way.
Yeah.
No, I called them.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, let's talk about what you said today.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. Just tell me what you're processing.
Yeah. Help me
because
understand.
maybe you see differently than I do. So, like, help me understand why you said that way. And do you see that it could be taken this way? And, through those conversations, I've seen people like, man, I need to actually re-say that, or say that a different way.
Right.
But that's called accountability. But I can only do that because of relationships. So.
I have not a whole lot to add. I feel like I'm learning way more in all of these questions. But the only thing that popped into my head was that good things that grow, like trees that last for hundreds of years, they take a lot of time. And weeds, they spring up, and then you have to get some weed killer and kill them, and then they're gone. But I feel like the stuff that is going to stick and the stuff that's going to stay takes a really long time. And to hold someone accountable is what everybody has been saying. It's the relationship that's the long journey. It's not the one text once a year over Christmas. It's the continuation. It's the journey of that friendship. And so then we can speak in, and they can speak into us, frankly. Right. And I've been thinking a lot about the Pharisees as we've been talking, and, like, I don't know if they had many relationships. They knew what to do and what not to do, and that was their life. And, like, so hollow, And I'm sure that they had really good intentions when they set out, but they didn't have the relationships, at least not that I know of in Scripture. Nothing's coming to mind. So if something is popping up, please tell me. But I think that they missed a lot of depth. They had all the right answers, but man, they could have gone about it a different way. Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here with Common Ground. This has been awesome. These conversations are so needed and so valuable. We hope that you continue the conversation with us as we keep having these.